This week on TGC News, SIG has a new version of the tread, IWI brings in the Galil Ace 21, HK brings back the SL8, and a Gauss rifle that could actually be the future of the firearms industry. Kinetic Development Group has been leading the charge on innovation for a long time, and they are a one-stop shop for everything related to the FN SCAR. Whether you need a scarging handle, an MREX rail, or maybe a sweet quick detach optic mount, KDG has all of that and more. And if you use the code TGC10 over at kineticdg.com, you'll get 10% off your entire order. Welcome back to another episode of the Gun Collective News, the only gun news show that covers things you actually care about. My name is John Patton. If you're new here, consider getting subscribed to stay up to date on new stuff from the gun industry, like new guns, gun accessories, and everything in between. We cover it all. Before we get cracking, this is something I need to say. Tickets for the TGC panel are flying, absolutely flying out. And this is shaping up to be the biggest one yet. So if you're planning to come to the event, consider showing up a little bit early if you want to get in on some of the door prizes that we are giving away. You've been warned. Now, how about some news? We'll start this week off with one of the most important guns that I've seen in a long time. It's a big claim. It's called the GR1 Anvil, and it's from a company called Arc Flash, not something you've heard of from the gun industry. Before I explain what it is, I'll give some context. Almost every single week, someone asks what I think the next big innovation will be in the gun industry, and I repeatedly have said that we won't see true innovation until we leave sending projectiles downrange with explosives. We got to leave that behind. Well, the GR1 Anvil is that. It's what's known as a Gauss rifle or a coil gun. Long story shorter, this thing uses electromagnetic fields to drive a projectile downrange. This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Now, I want to point out that while this is amazing and essentially the future coming to life, it does not come without a set of flaws. First, it's huge. I mean, look at the size of this thing in that guy's hands. Second, it weighs 20 pounds. It's not exactly EDC territory. Next, the fastest you can send a 0.7 to 1.5 ounce half-inch diameter piece of steel downrange is about 250 feet per second. It's not very fast when compared to our current standards. For reference, a 12-gauge 1-ounce slug travels at about 1,200-ish feet per second on average. That has me wondering if this is even lethal at those speeds. Someone in the comments can do the math on that one. Then we start looking at the cost. The projectiles, or armatures as Arc Flash calls them, retail for about 93 cents up to $1.65. You can make your own out of rod from Home Depot, but you get my point here. The 10-round magazines, which are specific to the type of projectile you use, retail for about $50 to $60 a piece. And the most important part, the whole thing has a retail price of $37.50, heading towards $4,000. Now, if you want to get in on the first batch ever, there's a 10% discount, but it's still a substantial price. Beyond that, they say that you get roughly 40 plus shots per charge. And it doesn't say how long it'll take to charge up. Oh, and did I mention that the charger is sold separately? And that's an extra $60 with a price tag well north of $3,000. You'd figure they'd be nice enough to include that. Dick move, guys. And rounding things out, there's a 6-month lead time on these right now. Like I said, it comes with a set of flaws. At the same time, though, I firmly believe that this type of thing, using electronics to move projectiles, is the way forward. To me, buying one of these is less about buying a gun and more about investing in technology that could move the entire industry forward. Now, this is not the first electronic gun made by Arc Flash. This is not the first gun of its kind. It's not. They've got a couple others you can buy, like a sort of bullpup style, shorter thing, and a handgun style. But this is the most viable one to date, most energy delivered on target in terms of projectile speed. I personally want one of each because even though they have some flaws, they appeal to my nerdy side and my future thinking side in a big way. When I think about the potential here, I think about people taking this idea and introducing even more advanced technology and making this technology more efficient and powerful. It's exciting, really. It really is. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. Is this something you would consider buying? Would you like to see these guys send us one for testing? Maybe we can see if they'll let us shoot it into some ballistic gel with high-speed video. That would be pretty neat. Sound off in the comments below with your thoughts on this, and let's talk about it. We have a few more new ones to cover this week, so let's do that. First is a sneaky release from IWI. On Friday of last week, they announced on social media that they're going to be bringing in 500 of the Galil Ace 21 pistols. These are chambered in 5.56 and have a Rock and Lock style 35 round magazine. They also have SB Tactical SOB side folding braces, tritium front sight post, 8.3 inch barrel, and the other normal Galil Ace features. It's a great gun. Pricing on these lands at $18.49, but I suspect that because it's a limited thing, that might be higher when it hits the streets. Gun broker beware. They also made it a point to mention that they are bringing in a lot of mags with the guns, but there's no word on pricing for those yet. Either way, options are always a good thing, and if it is just as good as all the other Galils, it'll be fantastic. Next up, SIG has another slightly out of focus promo video. Come on, guys, you're better than that. Yes, it's borderline funny that they managed to come up with this many versions of their guns. This time it's called the M400 Tread Snakebite SE. The things that make it special, out front there is a hybrid compensator / flash hider. There's also the FDE coated barrel for +5 horsepower, the 2-stage flat blade matchlight trigger, a 13-inch M-LOK handguard, and the partially melted pistol grip. Oh, and there's also the FDE Cerakote on the receivers. Honestly, I really like the way it looks. This sort of barrel inside the black handguard, that looks nice. And it probably shoots really nice. The M400 is not a bad rifle in my experience. And since SIG hasn't decided to put official pricing on their website, still, I'll make it up again. The M400 Snakebite SE costs 10 yeet cannons. It's weird that they would accept that as currency, but I guess hood culture is strong at SIG. And rounding out, people always joke like, you laugh at your own jokes, you're so dumb, it's so fake. Like, no, I actually laugh at my stupid jokes. And rounding out new guns this week, HK announced that they are bringing back the SL8. For those unaware, the SL8 is a semi-auto version of the famed HK G36 that is actually importable into the US. In my opinion, the G36 is one of the most fun and controllable machine guns to shoot. I actually made a video on this the last time, back in 2014 on my old channel. Now, the last time they imported these was back in 2010, and there's no way of knowing how long this run will last. So I would say if you want one of these to either keep stock or send a Tommy Belt Tactical to convert to a G36, you should probably grab one up pretty quickly. The SL8 itself isn't anything crazy, if you ask me. It has a 20-inch 223 bull barrel that's forged from what HK calls cannon steel, whatever the hell that is. It comes with 2 10-round mags, and it has a sort of thumb hole stock. The fact that it doesn't have similar features, like a same feature set as the G36, comes down to import laws here and export laws in Germany. A lot of folks get mad at HK US, but usually their hands are tied when it comes to bringing in stuff like this. Pricing on the SL8 lands at $16.99 for the standard version and $17.49 for the Cali compliant version. In gun industry news, Bushmaster has announced that they are back. For those out of the loop, Bushmaster, which was formerly part of Remington, was purchased by Franklin Armory at the end of 2020, and it seems that they are now back up and running at their new location in Carson City, Nevada. According to the press release, their initial offerings will focus on their XM15 E2S, which is basically their standard AR-15. Like, I just call it the XM15. You don't need the What is the gun industry? This is the gun industry. As they move forward, they will expand their focus to the ACR and 450 Bushmaster offerings. The ACR page on the website says soon to be perfected. And that's exciting considering how hard Remington dropped the ball on that project. The current CEO of Bushmaster is the former head of marketing for Franklin Armory, so I'm hopeful he will focus on what I just said and bring the brand into this century with both image and product offerings. I suppose time will tell on that one.
Just because I'm addicted to caffeine does not mean that I have to settle for coffee. Blackout Coffee. Yeah.
To get 10% off your entire order, go to blackoutcoffee.com and use the code TGC. That's blackoutcoffee.com/TGC and use the code TGC. It's time for More Friendly Fire, the segment where I answer questions from you guys. This time our questions are coming from Instagram. If you guys aren't following us there, go change that. Spicy memes. Good stuff. Our first question is from M3G4 Capitalist, and he says, why don't manufacturers make full-length slides on compact or subcompact frames? First, some do. It's just rare. And I think it's rare because the demand for it is limited. If anything, I'd rather they make long slides on full-size frames, like the 7-inch barrel on a 10 mil. Yeah, please. Let's do more of that. Red Wraith says, what are the chances of getting rid of LaPierre as NRA head? Until that New York lawsuit is over, I think chances are small. The NRA board, which had limited power to begin with, has lost most of the folks that had any guts to make that happen, and the folks that are left over are likely in Wayne's pocket. After that lawsuit proceeds, we will probably know, I suspect, a lot more of the misgivings that happened, but it'll be a while until that's public knowledge. Jose VX says, are 1911s still relevant? Yes, they are. Of course they're relevant. They may not be ideal for every situation, but they're absolutely relevant. And rounding us out, our good friend Chris Binkley says, with the large amount of panelists and respondents, might y'all consider a 2-day event? This is talking about the TGC panel. For context, this year we have 17 people on the TGC panel, and as of the time of writing this, over 800 tickets sold. The tickets are free. Anyone can come, link in the description. And to answer Chris's question, yes, I would consider it. It's tough to say how things would look, but I've thought about making the event even larger and turning it into something really special and unique, but that takes a lot of bandwidth, and right now we are focused on Houston. My friendly fire question to you guys this week: if you could pick one gun accessory to name as the single best thing you own that isn't a gun, ammo, or a magazine, what would it be and why? Sound off in the comments below, and if you want to ask a friendly fire question, jump over to theguncollective.com and send it our way. And that's it for this episode, guys. If you enjoyed the show and you want to see an ad-free version, promo-free, no promos at all, you're tired of that, go over to floatplane.com and subscribe to us over there. And after you click the like button on this video, be sure to hit the secret affiliate link down in the description, get some TGC merch, etc. That would be a massive help for us. And of course, don't forget to get subscribed for more gun news every single week. And as always, thank you all for watching. We'll see you soon.
Yep, it's over, but don't worry, you can click on the video up top to watch last week's show, and the one below that is the one that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. Check them out and let me know what you think.